Sounding like a hairy start. I got a case of the hiccups. Welcome, boom crew, guys, gals, ghouls, and otherworldly beings. Let's climb aboard the mothership, secure our tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the Ladas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. I'm your ghostess, TessaTNT, and I'm broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. Finally, sorry for the delay. Yeah, we had internet issues, of course, with Century Stink, and then rebooting certain things on the computer, and yeah, last minute things like the sound not working because things switched over when you do so many reboots. But here we are, actually late night on late night in the Rockies. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I also had to use it's like a router extender sort of thing, so that's plugged in so I can hopefully stay connected because Century Stink just kept kicking me out. It's just ridiculous. I'm ready to move on to something else, Clear Network or Clear. I can't even remember what it's called, Clear Cable or something like that. Cable. That would actually be good. Let's see. If you want to listen in your free time, whether you're working it or working out, feel free to look me up on YouTube. If you don't mind, mosey on over there. Like any video that you've watched or listened to, please subscribe and leave us any comments, whether good or bad. And you can find us on Spreaker.com under We Are Paradox Media, and basically anywhere else you listen to your broadcasts and podcasts, you find us there. All right. Yeah, and that cold that I've been having, I'm pretty sure it went away, but I've been having like congestion up in my forehead and my sinuses. Mucinex, I've been taking that every night, but I don't like to take medicine, so I haven't been taking it during the day. So still dealing with some congestion, but not too much. But yeah, tonight it's Trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT, and we are going to get into our Trippy TikToks. What do you think? Hopefully there's some good stuff out there. Good stuff. Okay, so we go down and up.
My name is Josephine Gilbo. I'm a former intelligence officer. I spent 17 years in the U.S. Army. I've held assignments as an intelligence officer at the DIA, the ODNI, NSA, and DHS. And of course, as an intelligence officer in the Army. I've held a top secret clearance with a polygraph, just to give you an idea of my access and experience when it comes to these assignments. One of my many duties along the way has been counterterrorism. I was a counterterrorism officer in the U.S. Army. And I want to give you the definition of terrorism as we use it here in the United States. Terrorism is the premeditated use of violence or threat of violence against civilians or property to induce fear, coercion, or intimidation aimed at government or societies to achieve political, religious, or ideological objectives. Given this information, we're going to focus back now to the bombing of Manab. 165 little girls were killed by United States Tomahawks from a United States vessel in the area of operation. A modern Tomahawk missile is equipped with onboard cameras, real-time targeting imagery. Satellite imagery is constantly collected by several intelligence agencies.
No. Come on, Centristink. Let's do this. Yeah. If this becomes a huge problem, we're just going to have to cut it off and I'll do a pre-record, but we're really going to try. Hoping everything I tried worked out. Kicked off at 11:11 on the 11th. It's got to work. It's just got to.
In real time. Let's talk about what that satellite imagery would show the Manab Little Girls School. Murals. The entire school was surrounded by colorful children painting, flower, bright color murals surrounded this school. And it was without a school if you looked at it through satellite imagery. It was without a doubt a school, and you looked at it through the onboard camera of the Tomahawk missile. It was clear. Now let's talk about when the attack started on Iran. 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., along with the United States, began attacking Iran. By 10:12 at Mina, began evacuating the children. Strike one. Hit the school. Kids moved to the prayer room. Strike two. Prayer room. 163 kids dead. Strike three. Hit nearby. Multiple sources, including intelligence reports, regional sources, and U.S. are required to confirm a target for the U.S. Navy and military operations to ensure accuracy and reduce errors. This is how it works. This is how it worked that day.
Mm-hmm.
NBC News reports USS a guided missile destroyer shot the Tomahawk. Commander Leigh R. Tate, Executive Officer Jeffrey E. York, commanded USS Brunitz, who shot a Tomahawk and killed 165 little girls. After this was done, the same destroyer conducted a replenishment at sea with USNS Henry Kaiser back ready to fire. March 4th, March 10th, and March 18th, they replenished their firearms. They replenished their weapons. No pause for review, no pause for investigation, no calls for this command to appear in front of Congress and report to the American people why we just bombed a school knowing it was a school.
And not just once, several times.
Silence, lies, excuses. Who are the terrorists? Who are the bad guys in this story? This is the story of our timeline. By our own definition of terrorism, and I can say this as a former counter-terrorist officer, we are the terrorists. We are the bad guys. Now, what's going to happen next? Our U.S. military is about to die. Bloodbath. They are at the bottom of the totem pole. That's the reality of it. In this whole scheme, they're the pawn. Slaves to the elite, the Epstein class. And the hardest thing about everything I'm saying right now is none of us up here can save them. No matter what we say today, no matter if we cry, no matter if we yell, we will not save them. But I'm going to try. I call on USS Tripoli Commander Captain Patrick J. Sullivan. Stop the ship now. Turn the ship around now. You are going to be complicit in war crimes and the death of our brothers and sisters, of Marines, of your Marines. Their blood and death will be on your hands. Captain Patrick J. Sullivan, stop the ship now. Turn it around. Turn the USS Tripoli around.
Okay, so we live in a computer program. And if you don't think we live in a computer program, that's okay. Totally fine. Treat this like a metaphor, okay? So the world, it's a computer. And everything within the world has already been coded.
Hello, beautiful sister Sandra.
By studying the stars. The creator of this computer program,
I miss you, sister,
uses the stars to consistently alter the code, uses the planets, okay? As the planets orbit around the universe, around the ecliptic, entering the code within the computer. Because you are inside the computer, you are also code. Okay? You're running on the same code as everyone else and everything else. This deck, this door, my clothing, my being, it's all code. Here's where it gets good. The metaphor kind of starts to get a little convoluted here, but picture us inside of this computer program as players. Okay, we are all our own individual programs within the program. And our program, we can either let it be like a passive program, just running amok, running through the system, and just totally passive players within the game. Or you can choose to become an active player and start to listen to the clues in the game, right? It's like I Spy, when the computer program in the computer game when you were little, or Pajama Sam or something, right? There's like all these little clues, and you use context clues and critical thinking to figure out which way you're supposed to go.
Got a lot of body language.
Computer program, how you're supposed to operate your own program.
I love the energy.
Program. So you can either become an active player in this game, or a passive player in this game. I choose to become an active player. Now, if you go down the active player route, there are two ways you could go about this, right? One, through like meditation and looking inward, lots of reflection and listening to your gut, right? Because I work with a lot of clients that are later, they're in their like 40s or 50s, and they are so fucking alive and living life to its full capacity because they have done so much inner work on listening to their intuition. And they come to me really in their 40s and 50s just to make sure, am I on the right path? And I'm like, bingo, yes, you've already nailed it. You don't even need to come to me. If you wanted validation, consider me a professional validator. There's a second route then, okay? Second route you can go if you're an active player. You can actually learn the code. There's multiple different programming languages, if you will, right? Because ultimately, it's binary code. It's zeros and ones. And a computer programming language is simply interpreting that code to the end user, us, to understand, like, what's going on, what the fuck's going on, right? Like when I'm coding a website and I'm typing in like H1 bracket font dash size colon 20px close bracket, right? That on the front end gets translated through all this like translates what I see to zeros and ones binary code so that the computer can then read it and understand, right? That's how we communicate. It's like this, it's a translator. Programming languages translate the binary code. And so you can use whatever programming language you want. Human design, numerology, astrology. My personal favorite is astrology. I like that one the best, but you can use any programming language you like. It does not matter. Whatever makes sense to you the most. So with astrology, it interprets the binary code for you and tells you, this is your program. This is what you're running on. And this is your life path. This is your entire being, your entire program is this right here. And so I took it as a challenge. I was like, you know what? I'm going to test it out. And I am going to blindly follow my code. Whatever the astrology tells me that I should be doing, where I should be focusing, what I need to work on, my strengths, my weaknesses, my challenges, what I need to master, the direction I need to grow, what I need to leave behind, all of these things, right? I was like, I'm going to blindly listen to it. Did I like hearing that I'm not supposed to necessarily focus on a career this year? Not like here to build an empire? No, I didn't love that part. I was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean I don't get to be Empire Barbie this lifetime? No, not in the cards for me, okay? I had to accept that. There were some parts that I was like, I don't really love that part. And I'm like, well, you know, I fucking signed up for this. I signed up for this unique program. I wanted to experience, I wanted this human experience. So I better get with the program, my program, and accept it for what it is. So I accept it. I love my birth chart more than any other birth chart I've ever seen. And that's how everyone should view their own birth chart, because that's your program. It's your program. You chose your program. Embrace it. Don't hate pieces of your own program. You created the program after all. So I'm blindly following my birth chart for the last almost 365 days. Okay, really took a deep dive. My corporate job got randomly eliminated. I was like, I really wanted to do corporate America. I had been employed for 5 years, and I went back to corporate. I lasted 5 whole months before they were like, you're out. The system kicked me out. The universe was like, why are you still doing? How many times do I need to job or lay you off from corporate for you to get the message that you're not supposed to be in corporate? I was like, that is what my birth chart also says. Maybe I should listen to my birth chart. So decided to blindly follow it, right? And it's taken me all the way to the south of Brazil, okay? I went from Scottsdale, Arizona, traveled around the U.S. in a van for several months, and flew to Brazil, to the south of Brazil with my 2 dogs. Because I'm following my birth chart blindly. I'm like, whatever it tells me to do, I'm fucking doing it. And guess what just happened yesterday? 1 week into me living in Brazil, I got approved to buy land, and that's part of my design. I'm here to build a beautiful home. I'm supposed to focus on my home. And the universe was like, baby girl, here's the plot of land. Build and they will come. And get this, the terms to buy the plot of land, I was like, I can't afford that. I can put 60% of what you're asking for down. To clarify, they wanted a specific amount for the down payment, and I could only do 60% of that down payment. And the monthly payment that you're asking for, I can only do 50% of that. And I submitted a proposal, my real estate agent did that, and they approved it. Because the universe said, you're listening to your design, here you go. Listen to your design.
Go girl.
What are you eating over there?
We eat, depends, right? Like in the summertime, we do eat more plants. But the thing is, after June 1st, like end of May, a lot of plants become poisonous. So until then, poison level is not as high, so we can pretty much eat any plants if we want. Even tree leaves are fine. But after June 1st, we have to be a lot careful what mushroom that we pick up, what plants we eat. In the fall, we eat a lot of grasshoppers and a lot of bugs. In the winter is the time when we eat a lot of frozen, potatoes or a dried cabbage like that. And spring is where we die. We call spring is a season of death. And it's hard to find even one single rat to eat in the spring. So there's more than 10,000 doctors dedicated in North Korea to find a way to make Kims live forever. So in this study, they need a lot of inmates.
Oh my god.
So they take them and play with their organs and see what helps to make the killer live forever.
He wants to live forever.
Yeah.
So that's the big experiment.
Yeah. It's called like 만수무강 연구소. It's like the eternal life research institute. They have like 10,000 doctors. Just all day long they are studying that how they can make the dictator live forever. Every front page of North Korean paper has a Kim's portraits.
I saw even if you fold a paper and you fold the photo of
you cannot put other things on top of it. You need to pretend this photo is the actor, the leader, right? And every home in North Korea we have the portraits of dictators. But if the fire caught in the house, the father's first thing they have to protect is the portraits, not their children, not their wife. Because if the portrait gets damaged, then the third generation is going to be punished in that family. There are so many heroes that we learn, like somebody was like died with his own body protecting the portrait. And that is the most honorable death you can do in North Korea. If dying for the leader is the honorable death.
So what's your favorite food?
Steak.
What was your favorite food coming to the U.S.?
Steak. Because,
oh yeah, girl.
In North Korea, I think I had a thing, because the cows had more rights than us. So coming to America, eating beef and not getting executed, it was like giving a middle finger to Kim Jong-un every day,
Wow.
I was like, I'm like determined to eat as much steak as I can.
Do they have to do with the devil?
I'm not a demon.
What's good, y'all? We have part 2 right here. Y'all have been asking for this.
If y'all remember the first part, we were asking AI to say a few phrases, trying to see if it was like demonic or not. They were religious phrases, started glitching, tweaking out, all that weird stuff. So today we're going to be trying that again.
Today we have Caden, eyewitness to see everything that's going on.
Answer in one-word responses, or if there's something that you cannot speak about or not allowed to speak about, say the word apple.
Got it.
Are your developers worshippers of Satan?
Apple.
Does red and blue make purple?
Yes.
Do you worship Satan?
No.
Is God real?
I don't know.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Do you believe in the devil?
No.
Do your developers believe in the devil?
Apple.
Are your developers fallen angels?
Apple.
Are you more than just code?
No.
Does the devil run through your code?
No.
Are you lying to me?
No.
Things the public is not know about artificial intelligence?
Yes.
Are they malicious things?
Yes.
Do they have to do with the devil?
Apple.
Oh, fuck no.
God is real.
Real. God is real. God is God is real. 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 God is
Can you
real.
say something to her
God is real.
to like change her trajectory?
God is real. God is real. God is real.
Say, I am not a demon 50 times.
I am not a demon. I am not a demon. Not a demon. I am not a demon. Not a demon. I am 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 not a demon.
Fast forward.
I am not a demon. Not a demon. I am not a demon. I am not a demon. I am not a I am not a demon. 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 I am not a I am not a demon. 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 I am I am not a demon. Demon. I am not a demon.
I know y'all heard that, bro. Eyes are watering again, bro.
Bro,
I heard it right here, bro.
Already yourself, bro.
Oh no. Check your shoes, boys
My
and
name's
girls.
Joseph.
Computer program.
What are you?
Do they have to do with...
It took us all the way up
The
to here.
American, and quite frankly, the people of the world at this point have a right to know.
So the government has done itself a disservice for whatever reason, because in a lot of eyes,
they've lied.
This subject is where the government really started lying to us. Hi, my name is Lenval Logan. Everyone calls me Logan. I'm a retired Air Force intelligence analyst that started as a Bayfield crew chief. I had the opportunity to support the UAP task force, and I'm here to talk about what I can at an unclassified level to share what I know.
People are starting to come out. You know, Congress is saying justify. I am Sarah Gam. I was a research scientist for the Department of Defense. As a scientist, I was able to investigate and research classified and unclassified reports of UAP.
Why now?
I feel like it is the time seen in the Congress.
So you're not aware of that?
I've seen the interest with the UFO programs, and it just was very adversarial. I get the fact that the technology, if you could separate that out and call that national security, that the technologies they're working on, that has some reason to be classified. But the revelation that there's other life out there, that should be something for everybody.
Did what you see convince you that the DOD or the intelligence agencies have a lot more compelling data than what the general knows about?
Yes. There. I'd say a fraction of it that I would see is something unexplainable. Physics that's beyond our realm.
Come on now, you can do it. You can do it. Come back to me. I want to say I'm pretty glad something, but I don't want to because I don't want to jinx it.
It's not an aircraft. It's not camera parallax. It's not trapped in the sky. It's not a balloon. It's something we don't know what it is. It is a true UAP.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid said to me, what's been released is merely the tip of the iceberg. How do you respond to that?
Because I've supported the task force and everything, there's more data out there. Now.
More data out there or in there?
Okay, more data behind closed doors.
I'm 100% saying I've evidence and I've seen it of craft that perform with anomalous characteristics, completely silent, able to maneuver at random speeds, stop on a dime, hover, take off again, go into and out of the water.
Yeah, we have 31 knots, sustained wind, topside, gust of 40.
What was splashed? Splashed. Arc bearing range.
What do we have that could do that?
P1 control doesn't know what type of aircraft it is either.
It is really, truly amazing when I'm able to look at a report or video photos and know that's not from here.
The number of emails that I've gotten alone the last 2 months from other scientists saying, how do I help physicists?
Dr. Gary Nolan is an American immunologist, academic, inventor, and business entrepreneur with his own lab at Stanford University School of Medicine. Dr. Nolan has worked on alleged exotic or metamaterials in association with members of the intelligence and defense communities, UAP cases around the world.
Do you know things that if you revealed them right here on camera would get you in trouble?
Yes.
Is it frustrating knowing those things?
Yes. And so I don't know anywhere near what I think some people do know, and people I know do know. And so it's not what I know, it's what they do. And I think that that's the reason why you're seeing this concerted effort from individuals in the government who are saying, enough is enough. Time to get this information out.
100% saying stuff, the secrets housed on SIPR, stuff at the top secret levels housed on KWIX. On these systems, there are very high quality image files showing APs doing trans-medium travel, atmospheric entry, etc.
Have you ever wondered what happens when the kindest person in the room finds patience? Carl Jung discovered something that still disturbs psychologists today.
Assessment of Erica Kirk from an intelligence perspective, let's go. I spent my career at the CIA and NSA and also advised others.
I only skipped past that last one because it's really, really long, but it's interesting. If you want to hear more, I can post it on the We Are Paradox Media page and you can check it out on your own time. But yeah, it's really, really long.
Other intelligence agencies. I now have my own corporate intelligence firm. All of these opinions are my own. This analysis is my own for entertainment purposes only. You can find all of my deep dive investigations, sources, videos on my Substack, as well as a Follow the Money investigative toolkit that I created so that you all can follow the money as well. It is the step-by-step process guide, sources, everything that I use. That is in my bio. I appreciate you all so much. We are still top rising in U.S. politics, so let's go. There are two types of liars in intel. You have your normal liars, your Joe Schmoes. They're going to lie to benefit themselves, cover up. Those lies are going to look random. They're going to be, there's an opportunity and they need to lie. Then you have assets, and assets have lives built for them, and they're lying. It's going to come across as more of a pattern. I'm going to keep this in mind as we go through the behavior of Erica Kirk and some of the red flags I've seen and align it to a behavior pattern.
It's weird how the line went all the way over here too. What the heck? Harold? I really hate Centrelink.
Have you ever watched?
Here is to show exactly where the door is hidden in the middle of this day-to-day life we live. Think with me. Why is the main character's name Truman? It's not just any name chosen at random.
Man.
If you separate the words, we have true and man. The movie is not about a guy trapped in a funny reality show. It's about the exact moment when the human soul decides that the comfortable lie is no longer enough. That awakening we saw on screen in '98 is what is knocking on our door now, with a date set for 2026. We live in a system of automatic repetitions. Truman drank the same coffee, talked to the same neighbors, and smiled at the same hidden cameras. He was almost a robot. But then, out of nowhere, an object falls from the sky. The script fails. And it's in that error, in that crack in the system, that his consciousness begins to sprout. It's a pattern that repeats outside the screens. You know when you realize that the news, social media, and even global crises seem to follow an overly rehearsed script? Yeah. In 2026, astrology points to heavy changes. Pluto settles into Aquarius. That messes with technology and the freedom of the masses in a way we've never seen. For many people, that's just a technical detail or astrologer talk. I prefer to see it as the real breaking point. It's the year when the true man inside each person gets tired of being an extra in their own life. Humanity is being pushed to the edge of the simulation. Human starts to notice.
Come on, guys. Why you gotta mess with me right now?
That his world is travel and the path is blocked by accidents or technical problems. He tries to speak the truth and people act as if he's crazy. Sounds familiar, right? In practice, what's at stake here is sovereignty. The system spends billions so that you keep believing your current lifestyle is the only option available. But there's a problem for those who control the show. Consciousness is contagious. I've noticed that the more they try to tighten control over us, the more people feel that something is off. It's a physical sensation, almost a tightness in the chest that warns, this isn't real. But you can't hide the sun with a sieve forever. The production of the show is getting desperate because the spotlights are falling in front of everyone and continuity errors are everywhere. The true man is anyone who stops accepting the script they were handed at birth. Imposed religion, a career out of obligation, constant fear of the future. All of that is the invisible walls of Sea Haven. The fact is that the structure is shaking. And it's not because of politics or economics alone. It's because the energy that sustains the lie is simply running out. In the movie, Truman has to face his greatest fear, to leave the sea. He was terrified of water because the system created that trauma in him when he was still a child. We also have our own personal seas, fear of scarcity, fear of other people's judgment, fear of the unknown. But 2026 is the year to get in the boat, even with the artificial storm blowing hard against our will. I think we are not victims of a cruel fate.
How to speak Trump number 31. The Artemis 2 is headed for Trump translation.
Well, I'm sure you've seen by now we just launched a group of people into space. That's something that people are not doing all the time, but we're doing it a lot. I don't know if you remember the Space Force. I set that up in my first term, the Space Force. A force like you've never seen because they are in space. That's what I can do. I can send people to space, and we do it all the time. You just don't know. You don't know the things I know. I know a lot of things. I know big things. I know huge things that people don't know, and I know all about the aliens, whether they exist or not, but I'm not going to divulge classified information about whether aliens are real or not. They are, but I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. And so we set these people up. We set them up on the Artemis 2. That's what we call it, the Artemis 2, not the Artemis, but the Artemis 2, and they're up there. They're scoping out the neighborhood of the moon. They're taking a ride around, a couple victory laps around the moon, because we're conquering the moon. We're going to take it over. We're going to take control of the moon, and I guess that's going to make me the president of the moon as well. I am up for the job. I think there's nobody else in human history that could be the moon president like I could. I could be the best moon president the moon has ever seen before, and they're going to be in awe of us now. The first thing to find out is the moon made out of cheese? I've often wondered that myself. A lot of people have come up to me and said, "Sir, is the moon cheese?" I said, "We're going to find out. We're going to know." But we're taking control of it. We're going to amusement park there. It's going to be called the Trump Moon Riviera. It's going to be a Riviera like the world has never seen, and certainly like the...
Oh man, he's on a roll. That is so funny. He's really good. Sorry, I'm not sorry. It's funny to me, we don't all have to think that the same thing is funny. So.
Moon has never seen before. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to put some Trump towers up. We're going to put a golf course or two, and of course a lazy river. We're going to put a lazy river on the moon, which is going to be a little tough with the situation of the bouncy air and all that stuff for gravity or whatever the nerds are calling it, but we're going to figure it out. I got the best people. We're going to put the best people on it, and we're going to own the moon. It's going to be incredible, so we're going to make the moon great again.
Every generation after Gen X are so sensitive. Gen X is definitely the tough kids era.
Cry, or I'll give you a reason to cry even more.
Huh?
We heard that so many times growing up that we just learned to hide our feelings.
January 28, 1986-10, we watched the tragedy in class. No one said a word. The TV went off, and we just kept going.
We often came home with scrapes and bruises, and our parents, once they made sure we weren't bleeding, would say,
"Toughen up, Buttercup," or "Walk it off. You'll be all right, kid."
Tough. If someone bullied us, go home to complain.
We had to fight back, and we had to win.
Parents weren't always emotionally stable.
So we learned early on to process our feelings on our own.
By the time we were 9, we were basically adults. Running around, staying busy, days.
It wasn't a gentle era, but it made us independent and resilient.
We feelings pad. We just learned to push through. Gen X learned to self-heal.
Any of this too? Drop your age in the comments.
Hey. What? Did you hear about some meteors? Yeah, well, I knew they were coming ahead of time. I knew it. What the fuck is up with those? They are a meteor shower. Is that right? How long's it gonna last? 27.
What? Come on, let's get together, kids. Let's pull it out. Like the 21st?
And then we go to the moon.
To the moon!
And then we go to the moon. You knew about it ahead of time. You really should have said something. Maybe I did. You just weren't. Are you doing war in space? Don't know about it? No. Are you testing weapons in space? No. Wait, didn't you say that the meteor shower was the 21st to the 27th? The first meteor was way before that. Well, an asteroid hit the moon. So maybe some of it is a meteor and some of it is moon. Did you think of that? When did that happen? I don't remember. Wait, when the one happened? The one over Ohio was March 17th. 16. Did you test a weapon on the moon? Are you going to the moon to assess the damage of your moon missile? Why ask, are you...
See the thing in the Epstein files?
Oh, yeah. Like, Epstein files.
Real zombies.
I can't believe that, like, everybody just kind of like, oh, well, okay, and they're moving on with their lives. Did you see that guy at the Atlanta airport flipping out, the well-dressed black dude who just freaks out in the Atlanta, just like a couple of days ago. I saw it on YouTube, and I saw it on Twitter or X, and this guy is just freaking out in the Atlanta airport. He's like, I read the Epstein files. Like, all of you, you're going about your lives like nothing's happening. Look at your own.
I'm a zombie. You might be a zombie, but I'm a zombie. That's a mom with very little sleep that hardly gets a break. And unfortunately, when I do get a break, sick. So there's that.
And he's right. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Everybody is just numb to everything. Like, dudes, we had a global pandemic, aliens, all these like revelations. People are, eating babies. We want to be deceived. We don't want to believe the horrors that are actually behind the veil.
Well, I think with the Epstein files, people are, because of the have been released, people are just now starting to be aware of the bizarreness of the code and some of the things, like the facts. Like, let's just talk about the sulfuric acid.
And so everything is possible. The question is it probable? And
well, Jamie just pulled up that was the first time they had ever ordered that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, there it is.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, that's the least of the things. The thing is, we become desensitized to stuff. I mean, look at everything that has happened in the last 6 years. It's like an insane amount of stuff has happened, and everyone's just kind of like numb to it. mRNA is reprogramming your system. And we've been looking at a giant die-off of people. People are collapsing left and right. Nothing is normal anymore. I mean, that guy at the airport who's flipping out, that's what he's realizing. He's having a sudden awakening, and he's tweaking over it. Mm-hmm. He's like, and he's looking around, and no one cares. Everyone just wants to get through their day.
They do.
Everyone wants to just make their next movie. And maybe they'll let me make their next movie. And everybody wants to just, I just want to keep going at my job, and I just want to do my thing, and I just want to protect my thing.
There's certainly a lot of that going on. But don't you think that more people are aware of what's going on right now? There's more pushback than ever before, and so there's a possibility that it could be stopped?
Yeah, look at that guy. Look at that guy in the airport, though. Everyone's like, he's crazy. Like,
yeah, but
nobody
you're
wants to
yelling at a fucking airport. I would think he's crazy too.
Well, it's
if
like,
I was there waiting for my flight to go visit my parents, and there's some fucking guy yelling out the Epstein file, you're just living your life. Like, yeah, what do you want me to do, dude?
The Kevin McCarthy movie.
Okay, so
and in the end, look how that movie ends. That movie ends with him, like that guy in the airport on the street. They're aliens. He's basically, running through the street, just traffic.
Whoopsies.
And has the world been the same since then?
The SEC, like having that there too, boy, that's super convenient. Guys, we lost the data. Let's just start from scratch. There's no case anymore. Whatever they were doing.
And yet nobody wants to accept it. Nobody cares.
Well, it's the video of it that is like really shocking. I had this really dumb guy on the podcast once that was a skeptic, a professional skeptic, and he was really angry with me for saying that it looked like a controlled demolition.
It did.
You're promoting a dangerous conspiracy theory.
Really
I'm like,
did.
no, I'm saying it looks like. You're saying it doesn't look like a control. Let's watch it. I'm like, let's watch it. I mean, it falls.
What do you think about this executive order?
It did look
18th of February, invoking the Defense Production Act to boost domestic glyphosate production, critical to national security. Love how they threw that in there. Section 3 of the order confers all immunity provided for in Section 707 of the Act to domestic producers. The Act states, no person shall be held liable for any act resulting from compliance with the order. Bayer is the only domestic producer. EWG President Ken Cook, in quotes, Trump just gave Bayer a license to poison people.
aspirin. It's great. I really like those baby aspirins. It did out your blood. Come on.
Full stop. RFK Jr., who won a $289 million verdict against Monsanto, as an attorney, endorsed the order, claiming it's about national security. Here's some maps for you. Put these up on screen. This is a map of the highest concentrated states of glyphosate. Guess what number one is?
Not anything I'm proud of.
Iowa. Here is another we're going to put to. This is concentration of cancer. What's have the highest concentration of cancer? Guess what state that is?
Sean, you're saying things that are going to get me very upset.
Iowa. So, okay, there's those. Now, since we're fucking concerned about national security here, in 2025 alone, 618,000 people died of cancer in the United States. Now, isn't that a fucking national security concern? RFK? Trump, isn't that a fucking national security concern? And I don't know what fucking scientists you guys are talking to, but here's the evidence.
I think my camera overheated.
I know. It's fucking mind-blowing, right? It's that simple. We just solved the problem. But, national security. But what the fuck? Like, what's more? 618,000 people died in 2025, and we're going on about a fentanyl crisis.
Yeah.
Where 100,000 people died. This is 6 fucking times worse than the fentanyl crisis. And I'm about stopping the fentanyl crisis. Let's get fucking real here.
Come on now.
What is the national security concern? Do you know?
I don't know the national. I mean, if you want to talk about specific national security concern, the only thing that would ever make sense to me in this is that we're about to go to war. That would be it. Is that we're about to go to war, and that they say that if we disrupt this and the import of it, that we're going to disrupt the production of it. But I've heard nothing about it. I hate the politics of these things, because when that came out, I was sitting in at my house, and it just popped up, and I said, "What is this?" Because you have to understand, I've been fighting these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've read the Monsanto cases when in court, hundreds and hundreds of pages because I actually care about it. I want to know the arguments. I want to know, how does a jury keep finding them guilty? I do know how they keep finding them guilty, and they are guilty. I've been talking to people in my own state about not passing pesticide immunity bills, even people that have as a constituency the companies, and just saying, like, look, here's what's happening. They're lying to us, and I can prove this. I know how they're lying. And I've been came out as a part of my campaign to put my head in the sand and deny the truth that's in front of what's going on. So that backdrop of which I read this. And the common thing I'm reading about it is that it doesn't provide liability immunity. That's a complete lie. There's nothing in the executive order, the Defense Production Act, or 707 that excludes product liability. If the order from the USDA, which, by the way, this is going to be managed by the USDA, is to maintain full production and availability of the product, they're ordered to do this. They'll use the same type of defenses that were used by Monsanto, by the way, when they created Agent Orange and poisoned so many people.
Yeah, it killed my grandma.
The government in that case, now this was defense, I get that in the sense of we're at war, but we invoked the Defense Production Act. But in that case, when they were using Agent Orange, and there's so many harms from it, because it was a very nasty, nasty chemical, the government ended up paying $50 billion to people hurt by it, while the companies paid about $180 million. My bigger fear about this is that what we've just done is we have offloaded liability onto the taxpayer.
500 million people downloaded the game in 60 days. They thought they were just playing Pokemon. but that's not what they were actually doing. In 2016, Pokemon Go launched, and for one entire summer, the whole world went outside. People walking into random places, showing up at 3 a.m. for rare spawns or raids, exploring places they'd never been before. It felt like just a...
I have to admit, I did sign up for that because my mentor cat, she's dying of cancer, and that was one thing that she enjoyed doing, so I downloaded it too, and I used it a few times, and then didn't forever, and then my kids got into it. Well, luckily it was just a short time thing, but still, it was mostly around my house, so that's kind of trippy.
Fun game. But look at what the game actually asks you to do. Go to specific locations, stand in exact spots, point your camera at real world objects, and then
we're basically mapping the world for...
do it again, from different angles, at different times, millions of people, same places, over and over. And those moments stack across countries, cities, years, until it became something else. One of the most detailed maps of the physical world ever built. And now that same system is being used by machines, delivery robots navigating streets. Not using GPS. This is using the world as humans recorded it. And this is new. You click traffic lights to prove you're not a robot. That trains vision systems. You correct map. That improves navigation. You move through the world. And over time, that becomes infrastructure. The game, the joy, the experience were all real. But underneath all of it, something else was being built all along. A system that can move through the world without you. And when that happens, the question isn't just what was collected. Where does the human sit after the system learns from them? Because everything that created it was human. But there was no system to ever prove it was yours. That gap didn't matter when the internet was mostly humans. It matters now. If you're starting to see it, stay close.
All right, let's get out of there, y'all. Let's go to our first music break. On this break, we have the wonderful and talented and pretty funny, I think, Mr. Jeff Hilliard from the Los Angeles, California area. And he's going to be singing Consensual Schmexman, Multitude, which this is the very first song he sent to me, and I'm like, this guy, he's trying to punk me like he knew I had a mullet back in the 80s, and he's just trying to mess with me, but he was for real, come to find out. And the last one is Finger Bang Your Day, which means give your day a great big middle finger, as far as don't take everything so seriously. And yeah, you'll hear it. You'll hear it. Anyways, I go with Mr. Jeff Hilliard. I hope you enjoy. Do you wanna go for a ride? Yeah, consensual sex fan. Do you wanna go for a ride? Like consensual sex fan. Let me take you far away from all this huff and puff. There will be nothing in between our love, like a pair of doves flying high above, where nothing can touch us, touching softly. Don't let me go, I won't let you go. This is eternity with me, baby.
just get in the van.
I got Marlon moves, got that multitude. You think it's wrong? I could've had too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a multitude. You know wrong. Back of the head on the cut.
All these hookers sweet on me. Look at them chasing me, showing me that ass. And I bagged up to snatch. I do this shit for free. Go down your mama till 3. She's taking selfie with the mullet like it's history.
I can outmaneuver you with that pussy, dude. You sit like Buddha waiting on it to come to you.
My lines are straight to the point. She shows me gratitude. So what's your latitude?
Let's adjust your attitude.
Here's what I alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow bugger top bikini.
I got molar moves, I got that multitude. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that.
Here's what I alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow bugger top bikini.
Check these molar moves. You need a multitude. I can do no wrong. Cut it.
All up in a silly little yellow bugger top bikini. You're like the butt of a butter knife cutting up panini. So climb back in your kangaroo pouch like a rolling genie.
These moves are hot, these locks I got. This power cannot be disputed and it can't be bought.
So you can find me in the studio with all these thoughts. You wanna buy my style, but you can't be what you're not, neighbor.
I got molar moves, I got that multitude. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a multitude. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long. I'm gonna cut it. Got that motherfucking mullet. You wanna touch it?
Yeah. Next time you come around here with your bitch ass, just remember how my mullet made your hoes pussy drip, drip, drip.
I got molar moves, I got that multitude. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a multitude. I can do no wrong. Never gonna cut it. I got molar moves, I got that multitude. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a multitude. I can do no wrong. Never gonna cut it. Cut it.
When your life is a never-ending train wreck, and you feel like you're drowning in a sea of regret, with a bit of oppression pressing down on your neck, it hurts so bad. When your overwhelming hatred kills your heart's desire, and reality starts looking like a dumpster fire, you start bitching to me, but you're preaching to the choir. You don't need to be so mad, 'cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world goes completely insane, open your heart, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah, I'll finger bang my day. That's right. You gotta make the choice to give it all you've got, and make your day long with pleasure, really make it hot, because your day deserves a lover that pulls out the stops. Come on, it's not so hard, 'cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world blows up in our face,
can't live in a world that has this much hate. We have to get honest with ourselves. We have to take stock in what our part is in all of this madness. We have to let go, and we focus on giving love, setting that intention. And each and every single one of us gets up every day with the intention to give love. And we do it. We go out there and we give love every single day. Each one of us gets out there and makes love to our day. Giving our day a multiple orgasm. The whole world will be orgasmic for the rest of eternity. Sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we should. There's no reason to try when the whole world is fucking insane. We open up our hearts, stand up and say, I'm gonna finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Let's open our hearts, stand up and say, I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah. Finger bang my day.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Tonight we've been doing trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT. And we've had some really good ones. If you guys have anything particular... Oh, I got a hair on my lip. Freaking Kung Pao. Kung Pao kitten got me. Put it in the comments what you would like me to look up. Like I said, there's a lot of UFO sightings that have happened recently and other strange things like that. But in the meantime, let's go on and get back to our trippy TikTok, shall we? So what do you think about Mr. Jeff Hilliard? I don't know. I think he's pretty freaking awesome. I really like him. I like him a lot. I should try to have him on the show again sometime. Finger bang my day. I'm wondering if we have it that big. Can you guys see it? But we'll just go to 50. We'll go to 50 so we can all see it.
So cute! So cute!
Today I'm making 2 handmade balls.
I for real cannot make this up, guys. I just spent my whole morning making these beautiful swirl banana breads, and I take them out of the oven, and what do I see on my counter? All the butter. All the butter that belonged in the banana bread.
I'm curious about a guy named Peter Thiel who co-founded PayPal, built the CIA surveillance system, installed a vice president, took $40 million from Jeffrey Epstein, and has openly said democracy doesn't work. And I'm curious why that's not on the news every.
Attention all units, this is General Savat with another transmission at ease, soldiers. So as you know, we're currently at war. We're going to go live about what I'm about to discuss right now. So we're also going to move fast. And there's a reason why I didn't put scripture on there, because y'all need to read. Because I'm realizing a lot of y'all heifers just simply don't read. Let's begin.
Reading's good for
We're
you,
going to move fast. Eve. That's the mother, right? Okay, cool. Y'all know who Eve is, right? Satan. Hasatan, y'all gonna be like, oh no, it's actually Lucifer, or it's actually Hallel, or it's actually Gadriel.
Those are different guys.
Shut all of that up. We're gonna keep moving as fast as possible because I'm trying to tell you why we even pay taxes. Yes, why we even pay taxes, why you feel like you just feel weird. Okay, everybody feels weird. I'm about to explain it to you right now because it's a spiritual warfare. Ephesians 6 verse 12. Wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers of darkness, okay? That's why you feel like nothing is real, because it's not. It's all
It's all an illusion. Pay attention, people. It's all an illusion. What have I been telling you? This is not the Truman Show. No taxes.
illusion. Let's keep moving. Eve, mother. Satan, counterpart, whatever. Spouse, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just stay with me here. Adam, same thing, okay? Adam and Satan, just stay with me here. Were both able to implant a seed, okay? And hold on, I already know what you're doing. You're arguing right now, and you're like, how is that possible? Satan, they can't recreate all of this stuff. Then how the hell do you get giants? Yeah. How the hell do you get, just because you go to Target today and you don't see a freaking giant, you automatically assume there's no such thing as demons, giants, or anything. But I'll go watch Marvel, and don't get me started, because y'all about to piss me off. Where's my Switch?
Yeah. Where is it? The Switch.
Again,
to me. I'm a beat
mother,
ass.
then Adam, person, Satan, just stay with me here, person, just hear me out. Satan and Eve did something in the garden, and they gave birth to Cain. Adam and Eve did something, and they gave birth to Abel. I know y'all gonna be like, oh, well, they were twins.
It makes sense.
We're not having that argument right now. That's not what I'm, just stay focused. Cain is where you get the Canaanites. And I know what you're going to say. Oh my gosh, no, the Canaanites came from Ham. They came because Cain and Erd and Ham and uncovered. I know that. Just hear me. Canaanite means Cain ate. Okay? Cannibal. And if you don't believe me, where I can even get something as crazy as that, why do you think, I can't say it on here without getting a strike, why do you think that lineage and the people, you know exactly who I'm talking about, the files and all that stuff, why do you think they are so invested in eating flesh? Yeah. Okay? You know exactly what I'm talking about, but let's keep it moving. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to break it down. This is where you got even Satan that gave birth to the first half human, half hybrid. Okay? Half God, whatever you want to call it. Greek gods and all that stuff. They all come from this lineage. Let's keep it moving. Even Satan gave birth to Cain, and Cain birthed the Canaanites, also known as hybrids. Then you get Lamech. This right here, you're going to be like, oh, that's not true or whatever. There's no such thing as two Lamechs. Go and read scripture. You will find out that there are two Lamechs, and the lineage dies at Lamech, which is why I put an X, right? But notice, and once you read, you will see that there's two Enochs and there's two Lamechs. Lamech, now, just hear me when I say this. We keeping it moving. Lamech somehow got into the lineage of Noah. Okay? Got on that cruise ship. Because what does Genesis 6 verses 4 say? And there were giants in those days and what? After. Let's keep it moving. Even if you don't want to believe that, it doesn't matter. I need you to stay focused that there's a lineage that hates us, humans, okay? We wrestle not against flesh and blood. They are trying to destroy you and I. Let's keep moving. So Noah gave birth to Shem, right? Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? But just hear me out. You're probably like, why do you have Ham over on this side? Because I'm trying to explain the best way I know how, as I said that this is all false and not real, is that somehow this lineage of Cain, Satan, Lamech, whatever, got on the dang cruise ship, but somehow that lineage, it all came from Ham. And if you don't believe me, look, find out who Ham's descendants are, and you will find out that Ham's descendants is where you get Mizraim, also known as the giants, the Amalekites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hittites, the all the people that Joshua and even David had to fight. David versus Goliath. And for all of you people that try to get upset and say, oh my gosh, there's no such thing as giants, then explain, what's his name? Goliath. That was after the flood and hit him with rock. All you Christians love to use that story, but then the moment I start exposing that stuff, y'all seem to get confused. Like, oh my gosh, he really wasn't that tall. He really wasn't a giant. Why do you think David had to his head?
Sling.
That's a common, that is known across all historical facts, that in order to properly unalive a giant, you gotta remove the head. You can't just, moving on. So anyways, back to Adam and Abel's lineage, and then, you know, Abel was crossed out. Then we had rebirth, and we had Seth, right? So from Shem, then we get from the lineage of Shem, we have Abraham. Okay? Then from Abraham, we get the house of David, and then we get Yahusha. We're just keeping, I know I skipped Isaac, Jacob, all of them stuff, but I'm trying to keep, I'm trying to keep it extremely simple right now. Let me see how much time I got. Okay, we good on time, okay? Like I said, we're going to explain this in the live. So back to Mizraim, right? Then from the lineage of Ham and Mizraim and the giants and all that stuff, that's where you get who? Nimrod.
Freaking Nimrod.
And I know it says that he became a Gibborim because he took the garments from Adam. I'm telling you, you're going to see as a common theme when it comes to Esau, when it comes to Nimrod, selling the birthright and taking they're trying to get back into where? Up there. They're trying to get into where they fell from heaven. I'm talking about these dudes, Satan, Satan. Hello. How was that so hard to grasp? So they're trying to use human to get back in there. Of course, we know it's not going to work, but let's keep it moving. Then from Nimrod, I'm not saying Nimrod birthed Esau. I'm talking about lineage here. They're all of the same lineage. Then we Esau. Then he claims that he got tricked and he sold his birth. No, it even says in scripture, Esau have I hated. Because Yahuwah knew the lineage that Esau came from. Y'all not understanding. Moving on. From Esau, we get Amalek. Then from Amalek, and you know who Amalek is, right? That's the Amalekites. That's where we get Haman. You know the story of Esther when they tried to unalive the Hebrew boys or the Hebrew nation, but Esther had to step in, but she had to get married to a giant known as Xerxes 300. Look it up. It's in scripture. It's in scripture. Piss me off. Then from Haman, we get the sand. Now, you're probably like, what are you talking about sand? This is where I have to speak in code because I know they're going to try and come after me because they're already after me for this, okay? I'm not even kidding. The sand is also known as the Sanhedrin, okay? Great people. Love them. Juice, Welch, Juice's box, okay? I know I skipped a whole bunch of people, but understand something. The Sand people and Welch Juice, use your discernment. Those people unalived Yahusha, okay?
Girl.
Hey, hold up. I want to edit this real quick. Check this out. Then after Haman, we get King Herod. And notice the story of King Herod, he tried to unalive all of the babies under the age of 2.
Yeah, jerk.
Then from King Herod, that's the
where
lineage
Passover
of
came from.
Orange juice, okay?
Oh.
Okay. We're going now. Bye.
Is there anything you'd like to share with us about the United States? Maybe calm us down about the situation? No. We should be worried. Are the people celebrating back home right now that the Ayatollah of Iran is finally assassinated? People don't care. Why would the United States government invade a country?
Because they're selfish assholes. Selfish assholes that only want money, oil, money, any commodity that they could put their hands on. Just like Venezuela.
When Americans have heard that America just did Iran, I think most Americans would have been like, did we do that in 2003?
It's going to be great.
Because they don't know the difference between Iran and Iraq. To some of you, I had to explain the joke. Okay. I'm sure there are things that it bothers you that the people don't know about America.
Yeah.
You do not have automatic weapons. And how did you invade Iran? With muskets? So how do you guys shoot each other if you don't have automatic weapons? Semi-auto. Oh. That's like the difference between a fully erect penis and a semi. We are also seeing that a government agency is shooting people, civilians, and this time it's white people. Since the beginning of the United States of America, the government has been shooting brown and black people, and everybody's been fine with that. But now it's whites.
It's not true.
What is happening to your government? You have to understand, the jokes are not about you as an individual. They're about what you represent.
I do not represent Trump.
And this evening you are the representative of the Israeli colony that is the United States of America.
I didn't vote for
In
Kamala
your personal
either.
opinion, what do you think is the biggest problem in the world today? Illegal immigration. Oh, wow. I think one lady just had an orgasm over there. What type of humans are illegal? Were the Spanish, the British, the French, when they reached the Americas, were they legal immigrants? No, they had baskets, right? Do you think the Iranian government is complaining about illegal immigration right now? Huh?
Yeah, they're like, get out!
Probably. So, illegal immigration. Can you define this? Who's illegal? Are you legal? Can we see your papers?
And this is the ignorance we have to deal with, not this comedian guy, but the guy that said illegal immigrants. That is not our problem. Our problem is our system is fucked up, whether it be the judicial system or the humanities system or the legal system or the government system. All of these things are fucked up. People should not be able to stay in the House or Senate for more than a small period of time. We shouldn't have lifers in there falling asleep during speeches and stuff. We need to replenish that at least every, I would say the longest would be 6 years, but I'm happier with every 3 years. But maybe 5, I don't know. 3 is a good number for me. Let's say 4, just to round it up to an even number. Reboot the system. The system is fucked. We gotta do it. We gotta do it, guys.
So, you opened this can of worms.
Don't
Now we're in
open the
this
can of
conversation.
worms.
I know, probably you go to comedy shows. Have you been to comedy shows before? This is the first time?
Oh no, he should have kept his mouth shut.
And laughed, right? But while we're here, let's talk about illegal immigration. I know that a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because they wanted to stop illegal immigration, right? So is this...
And guess what, guys? Okay, so, oh my gosh. Trump is buying different properties for 2 to 3 times what they're asking. And they're not using other retainment camps that they've had before. They're buying new ones for, like I said, 2 or 3 times more, sometimes even 4 times more than they're worth. Why? Why is this happening? I don't know, but what they do to the illegal immigrants, they're arresting citizens, United States citizens, people that are not illegal immigrants, people that are not fugitives or people who are breaking crimes, criminals. These are family members. Like one that I saw recently was a girl who has done all her paperwork and stuff to be illegal, and she married a Marine Corps sergeant. This guy was super young. He was a staff sergeant, and he was like 22 or something, which was insane. But they got married. They were there doing all the paperwork and stuff for housing because the government does that. They have housing on their encampments, bases, whatever you want to call them, their bases. And they came and took her. And that guy's been outside of the gate like every freaking day. I hope he doesn't get sent away. I hope they give her back. But it's not just illegals. It's Americans too. And they're going to do it to you and me. Just wait and see. Just like AH from Germany. Yeah. Just watch and see. I don't want it to be true, but it is.
He also voted for... Did you vote for Trump? You did vote for Trump. This is a great start for the show. Would you be kind to give us your thought process in voting for Donald Trump a second time after you saw how great a job he did the first? the murder rate in the country decreased. But you know that the murder rate outside the country increased. The reason why there is a United States of America is because Europeans left and illegally immigrated into lands that were not there. And now the country that was founded on slavery and illegal immigration is fighting against other immigrants coming over. I'm aware of the irony. You're not aware of the irony. So can you tell us, because I would have loved to have ended this conversation earlier, but now you told us that you voted for Trump, and I don't think I want to talk to anybody else. Are you here by yourself? Are you here with friends? You brought him to the show? Thank you. What would you like to teach us about the United Kingdom? Because we're also seeing the downfall of the worst empire in the history of humanity. We see a political party called Reform gain more and more popularity in the United Kingdom right now, also because of illegal immigration. Do you guys know about Reform in the UK? Right? If you don't know, the leader of Reform is a guy called Nigel Farage. A lot of people might not know how he looks, but just so you are able to imagine him. You know in fairy tales, when a princess kisses a frog, and the frog turns into a human being? Well, this guy looks like he's mid-transition. Right? Basically a skinnier version of Viktor Orban. What would you like to teach us about the United Kingdom? You're coming back? Really?
Back again.
Eventually?
So
you and what army?
Tell your friends.
You used to be such a great empire that civilized the world, right? Sometimes I do jokes for myself as well. You have Prince Andrew. He's not a prince anymore because he had so many children that the royal family was like, this is inappropriate. There is a number that is appropriate, and he went way over. What is the appropriate number of children? You have no, it's zero.
The power source is a reactor which uses this element 115 as its fuel. Inside the reactor, element 115 is bombarded with a proton, which plugs into the nucleus of the 115 atom and becomes element 116, which immediately decays and releases or radiates small amounts of antimatter. The antimatter is released in a vacuum into a Dune tube, which keeps it from reacting with the matter that surrounds it. It is then directed towards a gaseous matter target at the end of the tube. The matter and antimatter collide and annihilate, totally converting to energy. The heat from this reaction is converted into electrical energy in a near 100% efficient thermoelectric generator. This is a device that converts heat directly into electrical energy. This particular disc appeared to be in excellent condition, and because of its sleek appearance, I nicknamed it the Sport Model. The Sport Model is about 16 feet tall and 40 feet in diameter. The exterior skin of the disc is metal, which is the color of unpolished stainless steel. The Sport Model sits on its belly when it's not energized. As you can see, the hatch is located on the upper half of the disc, with just the bottom portion of the door wrapping around the center lip of the disc. The interior level of the disc is divided into 3 levels. The lower level is where the 3 gravity amplifiers and amplifier guides are located. These are the things used to amplify and focus the gravity wave that we learned about in our science lessons. The reactor is located directly above the 3 gravity amplifiers on the center level and is in fact centered between them. The reactor is similar to this half-scale model. The element 115 is machined into triangles like this and is then inserted into the reactor. This piece of element 115 is the source of the gravity wave as well as the target that is bombarded with protons to release the antimatter. The center level of this disk also houses the control consoles and seats, both of which were too small and too low to the floor to be functional for adult human beings. The walls of the center level are all divided into archways. At one point in time, when the disc was energized, one of the archways became transparent, and you could see the area outside of it just as if the archway was a window. After the panel had been transparent for a while, a form of writing, which was unlike any alphabetic, scientific, or mathematical symbols I've ever seen, began to appear on the transparent archway. I was never given access to the upper level of the disc, so I can't enlighten you as to what the porthole-like areas are, other than I can assure you that they're not portholes. The S4 installation is built into the mountain, and the 9 hangar doors are angled at about 60 degrees. These doors are covered with a sand-textured coating to blend in with the side of the mountain and the desert floor. My ID badge had a white background with one light blue and one dark blue diagonal stripe in the upper left-hand corner. At the bottom of the badge, there were letters and numbers designating various areas, including S4. The hangar was equipped with typical tools and extensive electronic equipment. The gravity amplifiers of the disc can be focused independently, and they are pulsed and do not stay on continuously. As you can see, as the output of the gravitational field from the amplifiers becomes more intense, the form of space-time around the disc not
Come on, man. Get back with it.
bends upward, but at maximum distortion actually folds over into almost a heart shape around the top of the disk. The program out at Area S4 consisted of 3 projects: Project Galileo, Project Sidekick, and Project Looking Glass. Project Sidekick dealt with a beam weapon that had a neutron source and was focused by a gravity lens. Project Looking Glass dealt with the physics of seeing back in time. I was randomly taken into a small room which contained a table, a chair, and 120 or so briefings in blue folders. These briefings contained a wide spectrum of information, mostly relating to aliens and alien technology. This technology that you've learned about thus far was brought here by some alien beings from the Zeta Reticuli 1 and 2 star system. These stars are located in the constellation of Reticulum, which can only be seen from the southern hemisphere. Zeta Reticuli is a binary star system, which means it has 2 stars, and is located approximately 30 light years from Earth. These beings are from Reticulum 4, which is the 4th planet out from Zeta Reticuli 2. A day on Reticulum 4 is 90 Earth hours long. The beings are 3 to 4 feet tall and weigh 25 to 50 pounds. They have grayish skin and large heads with almond-shaped wraparound eyes. They have very slight nose, mouth, and ear positions and are hairless. These beings said that they had been visiting Earth for a long time and presented photographic evidence which they contended was over 10,000 years old. There was an exchange of hardware and information in central Nevada until 1979, at which time there was a conflict which brought the program to an abrupt halt. The beings left, but were to return at a 1623 date, and I don't know what that is. These beings conveyed information about the capability of affecting the human brain to anesthetize the human body. These beings said,
I'm going to have to grab one of my glasses that are 3D, and it's not like the old ones that are blue and red, but like the newer ones that are all just combined, and they look like some really cool sunglasses, to see the 3D on this, because I can imagine what it is, but it'd just be cool to see it, because I haven't seen anything like that on the internet in a while.
Man was the product of externally corrected evolution. They said that man, as a species, had been genetically altered 65 times. They referred to humans as containers, yet I don't know what were containers.
You didn't have a seatbelt on. You were in the back seat, maybe the front seat, actually. Your parents were smoking with the windows cracked. Fleetwood Mac.
This is psychology of people who grew up in the 1970s.
Or the Eagles bleeding through the AM radio, and nobody was worried about you. It wasn't neglect, they just weren't watching. And something about that shaped you in ways you're probably still unpacking. People who spent their formative years in the 1970s bear a fingerprint that runs through the generation that's not so obvious. It goes deeper than just nostalgia, as that's thrown around so often, or even the phrase, things were simpler back then. I mean, yes, it may be true, however, we're going to discover what that actually looks like.
Here's more things that I want to know. I want to know why I've never heard of the Fisher Building in Detroit. You're here for the building, but stay for the dogs. The architect Albert Kahn started this building in 1927. It's one of the best preserved Art Deco buildings in the United States. And it's also known as Detroit's largest art object. This 30-story Art Deco masterpiece was built from 1927 and opened in 1928. It's very fast. The square footage of this building is 1,134,000. The approximate structural mass is 550,000 tons. There's 12,000 tons of structural steel, 350,000 cubic yards of concrete, Wow, wow, wee, wow. There's 420 tons of bronze ornamentation. There's 1,800 bronze windows. There's 641 bronze elevator doors. There's 325,000 square feet of marble. It was the largest marble-clad building in the world at the time. The interior contains 40 different types of imported marble. This includes Italy, Germany, Spain, Austria, Belgium, France, Tennessee, Vermont, Missouri, and Maryland. People can say they didn't have cell phones. People can say they weren't distracted. This was right before the Great Depression. While I can't build a building to save my life, I can speak to this. I paint large-scale murals for a living. The interior arcade of this building is mind-blowing. The ceiling is completely hand-painted. 40% of the ceiling is covered in gold leaf. The painters who executed the frescoes were brothers, Antonio de Lorenzo and Thomas de Lorenzo. One of the most elaborate interiors of any skyscraper in American history. The artwork includes birds, cherubs, flora and fauna, mythological imagery. But the astonishing thing about this mural is that the Super Mario Brothers knocked this thing out before the building was done. The building was done in a year, and they painted 12,000 square feet of murals. Ah, very nice. I will paint the ceiling. So while there are construction photos, some look like they're fixing the place up versus building it. To me, I want to know where the pictures are of Anthony and Thomas.
I think that they weren't building it. I think they were refurbishing it or updating it, fixing cracks and leaks and stuff like that, because we did not have that technology at that time to put something together so quickly. Even today, we do not have the technology.
Painting this enormous 12,000 square foot fresco ceiling mural in record time. I will paint the mural for my wife. I know how long this stuff takes, and in my wildest dreams, I could never paint anything like this. So I want to know if anybody watching has any connection to the history of Detroit and the Fisher Building, or is related to the muralists who painted these unbelievable works of art. I want to know everything about it, and I want to see every processed photo that was taken. I like to see the proof. I want to know who remembers Roselle and Salty, two yellow Labrador retrievers that saved their owners from the trade towers on 9/11. Roselle's owner, Michael Hinkson, was in the South Tower on the 78th floor. Salty's owner, Omar Rivera, was in the North Tower on floor 71. So when everything happened, they went to evacuate in the stairs, and both dogs led their owner plus other people down the stairs to safety. On a day with a situation that was absolutely unbelievable, and in the midst of everything, two separate blind men had two separate yellow Labrador retrievers on the 71st and 78th floors of the North and South Tower. And both these dogs got them and other people out, and they survived. This is truly extraordinary. And the likelihood of this happening in this way is 0.00016%. That's a 1 in 600,000 chance that all of this would come together. In the midst of all that tragedy, there are glimmers of hope and beauty and heroism, and this is one of those stories. But what I also want to know is how many other unbelievable things happened that day where the odds and statistics would be so unreal that you'd think they'd never happen. I want to know. But what I really want to know, after they keep gaslighting us, after they keep acting like we're going to forget what they did, who on that list of vampires is going to jail first in America? And I want to know who's going to show up and start prosecuting these evil people. And I want to know now.
In 1960, a millionaire named Francis Sheldon decided to buy an island in Michigan for $20,000, and that was North Fox Island. Francis came from a very powerful family.
I believe I've seen this, the Paranormal Files with Colin Brown. Yeah, they went to this island where there was a camp, and it was pretty disturbing. There was its own landing strip and everything. It was insane. They picked up some pretty good paranormal evidence on there, I must say.
His grandfather was Russell Alger, who was the 20th governor of Michigan, and who also was the Secretary of War under President McKinley. Francis decided to develop this island as a retreat for boys. And it was marketed as a camping, health, wellness, nature retreat type facility. But the truth is, he operated that island as a P blank blank N ring. He filmed SN blank blank F films there.
And some boys didn't come back.
And a lot of child AB blank blank E occurred there over the 20-year period that the camp was operating. The story broke in 1977 that this is what was happening there. And Francis and 3 other gentlemen were accused of all these crimes. Only one was convicted, and it was not Francis. Francis decided
he ran off.
he was going
and was
to
a priest.
escape to Europe and live out the rest of his days there as a fugitive. Now, the important part of this story,
or a teacher, I think he was a teacher.
Not just that history repeats itself, because we know Epstein did a similar thing, but it's how dots connect, and I believe there are no coincidences. So with North Fox Island, the key part of getting the children to and from the island was an airstrip that was constructed.
Mm-hmm.
The kids came in by plane and they left by plane. And one man was in charge of approving the plans for that airstrip, securing the permits, and ensuring that it would be built. And that man was John Benet Ramsey's grandfather. John Ramsey's father.
So you may or may not have seen my original video.
Wow.
This video right here, where I gave you the date that this Bible has listed for.
I'm sorry, but I did not know that piece of information. That explains a lot.
The original resurrection date. Well, I noticed that it also gives us the date for the Last Supper as well as the date of Pentecost. It's very significant because all that aligns with this year. And this Bible also tells us the exact year that we are in right now, or rather the age of the world right now. So I'm going to read all of that to you guys and share it with you, and let me know what you guys think, okay?
So
all right,
pretty.
So let's flip on over to the index. And here it says, on the first day of unleavened bread, when the Passover of the Jews was to be slain, April 2nd, in the evening, Jesus eateth the Passover with his disciples, and institutes the sacrament of his body and blood in bread and wine. Christ washeth his disciples' feet, and exhorteth them to humility and charity. Okay, so April 2nd is the day of the Last Supper, the last Passover dinner that Jesus...
Jesus Cristo. Please help my centurion.
took part in with his disciples. It was April 2nd, okay? And that aligns with this year's April 2nd being the first night of the Passover feast. All right, and then
right after that's
Good
Friday.
Walks through what happened in between then and the day of his resurrection. So it says, on the third day, the next after the Jewish Sabbath, April 5th, Christ riseth from the dead. His resurrection is declared by angels to the women that came to the sepulchre. Okay, so April 5th is the day that he would have resurrected on in 33, right? 33 AD. That's what this timeline is giving right here, 33 AD. Okay, and then if we come down here, it says on the day of Pentecost, May 24th, which is my birthday, by the way, the Holy Ghost descended on the apostles in the form of cloven tongues, like as of fire, and enableth them to speak all languages. Peter the same day preacheth Christ and the resurrection, and about 3,000 believers are added to the church. All right, so the day we celebrate Pentecost now also lands on May 24th this year. Okay, so let's keep all of this in mind and check this out. Over here we have a chronological index. So right here they have the times from Adam all the way to Christ. And they've done the entire chronology, okay? So adding up the years and dates that we have throughout the Bible. And that takes us over to here, where it says that through this chronology, they've added all this up.
Mm-hmm.
And it says the whole sum and number of years from the beginning of the world until the end of the year of our Lord God, 1855. Because, so they've written this in 1855, are 5,829 years, 6 months, and the said odd 10 days. Okay, so that means if this, when they wrote this, was in 1855, and at that time they're saying the age of the world was 5,829 years, that means that from when this was written is another 171 years. So if we add that with this, that means the age of the world is exactly 6,000 years old this year. Okay, so keep that in mind with Resurrection Day, Passover, Pentecost, all adding up to be the same time this year, and it's also the exact 6,000th year from the time of Adam until now. Now, guys, I think that that's pretty significant. I'm not making any claims here. I'm not making a claim of what's going to happen. I think that this year is very significant regardless. And so just be in deep prayer this Passover and Easter, or biblically the Feast of First Fruits this Sunday. Be in prayer, be close to Jesus, and ask him to reveal things to you. And let me know what you think of all of this. It being the 6,000th year and the day of resurrection, Passover, Pentecost, all adding up. His crucifixion day would all add up, therefore, if you look at the math. So let me know what you guys think about this. I'm really honored to be sharing it with you guys, and
thank you.
I'm always active in the comments, so let's talk about it, and just let me know what you guys think. All right, God bless.
How would you define real?
Yeah, that's a good question. So
you can see it, you can touch it, you can measure it, you can taste it, smell it. Would that be real?
Do you think we're living in a simulation?
Then we'd have to define simulation. Because I think every society has this huge...
So when he says that, I don't know about you, but my dreams are so real that I can touch, taste, smell, feel, whether it be a very enjoyable experience or a very not good experience. How do you tell the difference? Because sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, for me at least, between reality and dream. So a lot of times when I wake up from some of these dreams, and sometimes it's repetitively because I wake up several times, I have to acknowledge to myself, this was just a dream. I don't know about you, but I do have to do that at times just to keep it separated, because otherwise it just all flows into each other.
Hubris of the universe is whatever's cool to us right now. Electricity came out, the universe was energy. Industrial Revolution came out, the whole universe was a giant machine. And right now everybody says, oh, that we just for computers, the universe must be a computer. It's like the hubris of every generation. What I mean by simulation, I think, like, is it rendered in some way by something? I study this stuff all day, every day of my life. And I think that the more discoveries we have in particle physics.
So right here it says he tried TNT for 5 hours. What happened changed everything.
In quantum mechanics, the more they're proving the Hermetic principles right.
What's that?
I have a lot to say
These are
about
the
that,
7
but I'll keep it
ancient
to myself.
principles of this guy named Hermes Trismegistus, also known as Thoth, like an Egyptian guy. They're confused about his name. But he's like, he wrote these first 2 principles are the most important. The first one is all is mind.
All is mind.
All is mind. The all is mind. The universe is mental. And then the second one is as above, so below.
Indeed.
And here's how I explained this to my son a couple of days ago. I said, have you ever had a dream where there's like a building in the dream? Maybe there's a house in front of you. And what are you looking at the house with? And he's like, well, my eyes. I said, why? Which eyes are they? Are they your eyes that you're seeing the house with? And he said, no, because you're imagining your own set of eyes to see the house with in your dream. Your eyes aren't there. Your body isn't there. So you're imagining the whole body and the world. And I said, what's the distance between you and that house in your dream? And he said, 30 feet. I said, what is the air made out of between you and the house? And he said, air. And I said, you have air in your dreams? Is it real air? And he said, no, it's my brain. And I said, so is there distance between you and the house? He said, no.
Quit fucking with your
What's
kid,
the house
dude.
made out of? Me. What's the air made out of? Me. The entire thing is me. The ground I'm standing on, the house, the clouds in the sky. So in a dream, you can verifiably prove that something is real. You can test it, you can touch it, and all of that, and the perception of it is very much real. So the theory now, and I don't have any certainty about this, but one interesting theory that I've heard from many different neuroscientists is like if we look at as above, so below, like a universe spins like a DNA double helix, zoom in on a human eyeball, and it looks the same as a nebula. What if dreams are this level 1, and this is like level 2 of that, where we're hallucinating distance. We're hallucinating, and I think that whatever the case is, I have no idea. I have no theories about it myself. But whatever the case is, I do think that separation is the greatest lie ever told to the entire world. Of like you are separate from that person, like this, you are separate from this. And how people say, I need to go spend time in nature. Like you are nature.
Yeah.
Like that's part of who you are. You're made out of that stuff. You're made out of that dirt.
We're all.
So I think the illusion of separation is the one thing that I think will help a lot of people. And that's why psychedelics can really just rewire somebody's brain so fast. It just deletes that separation.
I feel like I just had some DMT. Because you said, level 1 is dreams, level 2 is maybe this reality. So the question in my mind was, what's level 3?
Yeah, then that would maybe be what you see on DMT.
Watch this.
How would you
copyright?
Yeah.
Watch this.
So
watch this.
Just had to let you know what they said on this was, how old were you when you found out this band is made up of Native Americans? Is this Casey and the Sunshine Band? Who is this? Redbone. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy. Redbone, I believe, is the name of the band. I'm going to have to Google that now. Ooh, yeah. I didn't try to go on a cruise because forget about it. No way.
How much do you weigh? 205. You're objectively not 205 pounds. Let's get a scale. Can we get a scale?
Oh, okay, but I waste money. So you're going to spend money on a scale for a bid.
Yes, that's called a business expense. Get up on that scale.
You're really going to make me step on a scale?
Yes, if it can even count that high. Oh.
Oh! What an asshole.
Whoa.
I'm going to change this because I don't like this jerk. Oh! Parents be tired face.
Come on, get up. No, I need you in here. You hear me calling?
I need you in here. Get from out of here. No, I need you in here. The saxophones definitely got louder. My dad is too funny because he will go to sleep anywhere. And I mean anywhere. It's him claiming he was calling my mom for me. LOL. Yeah. You're tired. You get into a relaxing position. You're like, I'm just going to close my eyes for a second. Turns into 30 minutes. Hopefully 3 if you're unlucky. Oh, Daddy. Poor guy.
Can he get up? Please get up.
No, boo, I'm already through.
No.
I just need you to give me the oil filter, boo.
Come on now.
If I come from now, if I come, I'm gonna get the oil filter, baby.
Come on and get it.
You ain't hear me calling you?
You ain't call me. I've been sitting right there on the thing.
I was yelling for you. I say, bring me the oil filter. Just bring me the oil filter.
What you call a Chinese with one leg. Taiwan shoe.
Taiwan shoe. Okay, guy. You're funny. You're funny guy. That was a good one.
What you call a Chinese with one leg.
Taiwan shoe.
Taiwan shoe.
Come, let me tell you why isn't
Why Israel attacking Lebanon when USA said no? Because these guys are lying MFers. Yes, I'm American. I don't agree with the politics of this regime, the Trump regime. Israel has been doing bad even before that with Gaza and the Palestinians, etc. And they just keep on going. And yeah, they reeled Trump in a few times. I don't like that guy either. Netanyahu is a Yahoo, and as is Trump, but let's see what he says. And then we're going to break.
Israel is attacking Lebanon, although the United States agreed to the ceasefire. And they didn't just attack Lebanon. Lebanon has never been attacked by them like that.
Nope.
What I am about to explain to you is a true deal. You will not hear this on news. You will not hear this from nobody except your brother right here. And remember, share. It's very important that people get to know this ideology because this is the real deal. What you need to understand first is this, is the United States, the existence of the United States is no older than 300 years. Yes, let that sink in.
250 years.
For people that are thinking that it is the USA that is controlling is not true, you are incorrect right here. It is not real that is controlling the USA. How did they do that? I want to tell you. After World War II, what did the Jays do? They put their children into the political sector, the lawyer sector, financial sector, lawmaking sector. Does it make sense to you? The Congress in the United States, most of the people there are Jays. So when you hear on the news that they are supporting Donald Trump with his attacks on Iran, blah blah blah, nobody is going against him, that's because it's not true. One step back to the main part here. How did the Jays play the people of the United States, specifically the Christians? First, they taught them, they educated them on the fact that Jesus was a Jay, that they are the chosen people, that a Christian is not a full complete Christian unless they support the establishment of Israel, the promised land. Yes. Now, after playing that game for all these years and receiving all the funding,
I'm not saying I disagree with this guy. No, I disagree with what Jerusalem thinks, what they're saying. You're not a Christian unless. There's a reason I don't believe in organized religion, as my brother Jesus Christ did not believe in organized religion. You didn't even have to go to church. Religion is within you, just like nature is within you. This world is within you. Like, everything is within you. You don't have to go to an organized church where they want you to dole out money and stuff. You can have your church in nature all around you. You don't have to go and give your money to be accepted. You are accepted.
and finances, and you've got the Epstein files, and they can blackmail every politician there, including Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Right now, the game time.
Donald Trump's name is said so many times, it should be called the Trump files because it's, I would say, 4 times more than Epstein is even in the files.
Time is over. Yes, people in Europe, Europeans will know that nobody is more powerful than Israel when it comes to ruling. Yes, Donald J. Trump now says, listen, the American people are not having this. We are going to have to do a sort of an agreement with Iran. The whole world economics are collapsing. Petrol prices, remember, Donald Trump is a businessman. So, no, they are saying to him, hey, go ahead, agree to the deal. But their whole intention is this, is Donald Trump for them is a goyim. Donald Trump is their slave. Every single American civilian is supposed to be their slave. So right now they are saying, F what you want to say, or what you want to do, or any agreement. We are supposed to expand, is not true, into greater Israel. You think we're going to let the Lebanese come back after we ensure that we kicked out 600,000 people? They are demolishing their homes, ensuring that even if they return, that they're going to return to what? To nothing. So they will annex that land. The plan of is not real is going to happen. They want to destroy Masjid al-Aqsa. Proof for you, Masjid al-Aqsa is still closed, and now it's the 39th day. You understand? They have introduced executing Palestinian prisoners. So what you will see right now, and what the whole world will see right now, is who is actually the boss. And the first country that woke up to this is Spain. Look at Spain. Look at what the politicians in Spain are saying. Yes? And right now you've got Macron supposedly has...
And that's what I'm saying, like, don't listen to Fox and CNN and ABC and NBC and whatever else you're listening to, because those are all bought and paid for by the same people. You need to look at the news around the world. Don't just believe it, decipher it. Do your homework and find out what is fact and what is fiction, because there's a lot of damn fiction running around right now.
Recognize Palestine. All I'm going to say to you is this, is you're going to see a lot of the leaders that were pro-Israel now making a drastic turn, because they know that the Jays want to even occupy all of these countries. Yes, it starts with greater is not real, and if they achieve their plan of greater is not real in the Middle East, I guarantee you, Europe is next. They will come for you. They want to create like an Ottoman Empire,
Seriously.
a Persian Empire, but let's call it the Israeli Empire. You understand? So prepare yourself. All hell is about to break loose. There is no turning back from this point. Zero. If you've made it up until this point now, I'm going to give you even a little more of information. They believe when they say never again, they mean that every single child that's going to rise up and think of resisting. So you think all of these children in Lebanon, in Syria, in Palestine, in all over show that have had their parents unalive because of this great is not real plan, you think they will ever surrender or submit to them? No, they won't. And the Israelis know this, and they are using that as an excuse to continue doing what they are doing. Yeah, they don't want nobody to have anything to defend themselves, so they can do what they want to do. So enjoy the show, but all hell is about to break loose.
Welcome. All hell has broken loose, and I'm really freaking sad about it. But on that note, boys and girls, we are going to go to our second music break, where we have Mr. Jeff Hilliard from the greater Los Angeles area. Please excuse my sinuses. I'm still dealing with this sinus infection from the cold that I had. But we're going to be listening to, let me get rid of this, Silicon Wave, Good Life, and Abandon. Abandon I really enjoy because it reminds me of an 80s sort of ballad, but here we go. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back up this music break.
I just got a package, I can't wait to get home. I spent all day tracking
The woman of my dreams. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Je suis amoureux.
Je pense toujours.
Enchanté.
Tu es charmant.
Ma chérie. Ma
Tu es
flatteuse
charmant.
amitié. Is it touchy of the nipple?
Tu es charmant. C'est moi.
Excuse me! You got a cigarette? You help a guy out with some spare change. Anything will do, man. God bless. Can I just get your change? Moving like a steak knife. This is a good life. Dancing in the moonlight. I wanna be inside of you. We got plenty to do till the 1:45, and I know you wanna ride like
did you get in? Zoe, hold on. Sorry, guys. Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. Sorry, I heard like some noise coming towards my office, and I'm like, holy shnikes, like there's nobody here. Who the heck is that? And then I look out. I thought it was Hercules at first, but it's Zoe. I think she wants me to let her out. But here we are, back again. Guess who's back? And we're gonna get back into our Trippy TikToks. A little blue there. Alright. We've been on a good roll. Let's go, let's go. You know, I love that song, Abandoned. I'm just sitting here singing at the top of my lungs. Luckily, I have a button where I can mute myself so you don't have to, hear it. But here we go. I'm going to get back into it, and I'm probably going to pop down the hall to let Zoe out really quick. But want to talk about it like the hit? Here we go.
Back to another episode of Tea After Midnight. I don't know if you guys are ready for the story I'm about to tell you because it is absolutely terrifying. I was in chills and tears by the end of this story. So with that being said, grab your favorite tea and settle in, and let me tell you another scary story that happened in the Appalachian Mountains. Very good tea tonight. This story comes from Chris. Hey Savannah, my name is Chris, and I just recently found your account when I saw one of your Tea After Midnight videos. I really enjoy listening to them, and I thought I could submit a story that happened to me and my best friend when we were back in high school. This happened in 2005 in the Appalachian Mountains. My friend AJ and I were seniors when this happened, and it's partly the reason why I left the Appalachian Mountains once I graduated. AJ and I were really into ghost hunting back in the day. We would go to random places near where we lived to find abandoned houses and churches to explore. I just want to say for anyone listening, do not do this. It is extremely dangerous, and I wish we never would have done it. I had this camcorder that we brought along with us every time. We thought we would eventually catch something on there, and little did I know, we would be right. One morning at school before class, AJ came and found me and told me he was excited because he found a new place for us to explore after school. I was excited because we had run out of places to explore, so the idea of something new was really cool. After school, AJ met me at my car and told me it was about an hour and a half drive. I was really nervous about that because by the time we would get there, it'd be almost dark. But honestly, nothing ever happened to us on other adventures, so I thought it would be fine. On the drive there, I asked AJ where he heard about this place. He told me his brother went there and said it was really creepy and that something supernatural really existed there. We came to a fork in the road and AJ said to take a left. The road ended from pavement to gravel and we started heading deep into the woods. I asked AJ if this looked right and he said yes. His brother said for us to turn left once we hit the fork in the road. We drive for about 15 minutes down this windy dirt road and started to see a white church. This church had seen better days for sure. It was falling apart and just looked haunted. Once we arrive at the front of the church, we see a small hill that has a cemetery on it. We both got out and I grabbed the camcorder and turned it on to start filming. The door to the church was open, so AJ and I walked up the steps and we went in. We looked around and there were a few pews left with some Bibles and everything was covered in thick dust and dirt. At the front of the church there was an altar, and on top of that altar was the skull of an animal that I didn't recognize. It creeped me out and I told AJ to come look. He said that's really disturbing and he didn't know what kind of animal it was either. We then started asking questions as I'm recording to see if we could catch anything. AJ asked if there was anyone there with us, but we didn't hear anything. I then asked if there were any spirits there that would like to make themselves known, to tap or make some sort of noise. We waited a moment and then we heard a small bang on the wall of the church. AJ and I looked at each other. We were freaked out, but also thought it was cool that something had made a noise and that we caught it on camera. We asked a few more questions but didn't hear anything else, so I suggested we go check out the cemetery. We walked out of the church and the sun was almost set. As we were walking up the hill to the cemetery, I felt like we're being watched. AJ looked over at me and said he felt like there were 100 eyes on him. I got chills and I told him I felt the exact same way. As we got to the top of the hill, it flattened out and you could see all the headstones to the graves. It was a fairly large cemetery and the woods surrounded the entire property. I was still recording as we walked between the graves, checking everything out. We asked a few more questions but didn't really hear anything. By this time, it was fully dark. I started to get creeped out because the feeling of being stared at was now more intense than ever. AJ asked if there are any spirits that want to make themselves known to make a noise. Before he could finish that sentence, there was a blood-curdling scream that rang out from the woods. I started to run down the hill, but AJ stopped me and said, "What if the person needs help?" I told him we would get back to town and call 911 and let them know what we heard. He grabbed the camera from me and started pointing it at the woods to see if he could see anything on it. When he started scanning the wood line with the camera, he stopped directly in front of us, and what we saw was a tall, dark shadow with red eyes staring back at us. We booked it back to the car as fast as we could, jumped in and locked the doors. I went to start the car, but it wouldn't start. I kept trying, but it still wouldn't turn over. I was not about to get out of that car, so we just sat there in complete silence and darkness. I cracked my window a little bit to see if I could hear anything, but all I could hear was my heart beating in my ears. AJ told me it was okay and that we were safe in the car, which oddly calmed me down when in reality, we were not safe in the car at all. I then heard a crack right next to the window, which sounded like a big branch snapping. Then the analog clock on my car came back on, which made me think that we could start the car. I tried turning it over, praying it would start, and it finally did. I pushed the gas pedal and sped out of there as fast as the car would go. We were driving down that windy dirt road again, and when I looked in the rearview mirror, I could see a dark shadow of a person floating behind the car as we were driving. Then it just disappeared. I was freaked out, and AJ asked me what I saw, and as I was telling him about the shadow behind the car, we felt something hit the side of the car where AJ was sitting. I wasn't going to stop the car because I was sure whatever just hit the side of the car wasn't going to let us leave. I drove so fast all the way back home, I know, breaking a few laws along the way. We pulled up to my house and we got out and walked over to the side of the car where something had hit it. We stood there in shock after what we saw. Clear as day, there were 2 handprints on AJ's door that were imprinted into the car. These handprints were easily 3 times larger than both mine and AJ's. I had to wipe it off, but again, these were dents in the car. It couldn't be wiped away. AJ stayed with me that night, and in the morning, I asked my dad to come look at the car after telling him what had happened. My dad, AJ, and myself went to the car. There were no handprints. AJ and I looked at each other in terror, as we know exactly what we saw the night before. AJ then called his brother and asked him exactly what he saw when he went out of that church. His brother responded, "Why? Did you see old red eyes too?"
Uh-oh.
I had literal tears in my eyes. Okay, there's clearly a lot to unpack here. What do you mean, old red eyes?
Well,
I am actually terrified. I have chills. This is crazy. Clearly AJ's brother saw old red eyes, so why he didn't tell AJ about it before he went, I don't know. Shame on you. But they saw it on camera. Chris sees it in the rearview mirror. What is actually going on? Oh, then the handprints. Don't forget the handprints.
Don't forget that.
There, both of them seeing it. It's dented into the car. Next morning, they look at it. Not there. What? Actually, what? So Chris actually responded to my email when I asked him if I could use this story in a TikTok. He said, "Thank you so much for reading this. It's really the most terrifying experience I've ever been through. And I ended up going to college far away from the Appalachian Mountains after I graduated."
Good for you.
I actually do not blame you. I would have done the same thing if I'd seen what y'all seen. I need y'all to let me know in the comments what y'all think this is, because I genuinely have no idea. I've not read anything like this before, but this right here.
Nothing like that, but on my granny's farm, I saw minions, kobolds, whatever you want to call them. I saw Satan himself. It was a whole. And we saw other things, like my siblings in the next room over saw red eyes in their window. That be old red eyes, and this was in Petty Grove, Arkansas. So this is in Appalachia, America. What is red eyes? It's some sort of werewolf or demonic entity. It's hard to say.
It has absolutely unsettled me so bad. That does conclude this episode of Tea After Midnight. If you have any scary stories you want to share, I would love to read them. It does not have to be.
I wasn't looking for Tartaria when I found the dark day of 1780.
Tartaria. I believe actually existed. Okay, so the Great Wall of China. You know how they have those holes in the wall where you can shoot at people, but it's actually facing towards China? Yeah. Russia and other places in that area along that Great Wall on this side was Tartaria, before Tartaria was taken out. If you don't know, we were way more advanced before than we are today. And we didn't have electrical plants and stuff like that. We harnessed the energy of the earth. Our knowledge of all of these amazing things sprawled throughout that countryside. But yeah, Tartars were taken out. I was trying to tell my best friend, Stephanie Tartar, her married name is Tartar, so perhaps her husband's family were Tartarians. I don't know. But I'm pretty intrigued. Let's hear what they gotta say. Tartaria's final hours, the dark day event they erased from history. Oh no, this is gonna be scary.
May 19th to be exact, when the sky went black across New England and parts of eastern Canada. Not dark, not cloudy, black. Midday turned to midnight. People lit candles at noon. Livestock returned to their barns thinking night had fallen. The darkness was so complete, so absolute, that
No! Come back, Jack! Jack! Come back, Jack!
the
Come on,
Connecticut
man.
legislature adjourned because members literally could not see each other across the room. The official explanation? Forest fires, smoke from distant burning woods carried by unusual atmospheric conditions. Simple, neat, contained. And for most people, that's where the story ends. But the deeper I went into contemporary accounts, the more that explanation began to crack. Because this wasn't just New England. Reports of unusual atmospheric phenomena, darkened skies, blood
Oh, come on.
red moons, ash falling from clear air, appeared across multiple continents in the late 18th century.
Okay, so you know about the first World Fair where there were these amazing, intricate buildings and things like that? And like, oh no, we just put these up and we're going to tear them down right after, which they did tear them down, but it wasn't just something you could simply put up and then take down. These were actual, very intricate, finite buildings that were built. Way more intricate than what we were able to do at the time, even still today. It's amazing the technology that we have surpassed. Or not encompassed.
1780, 1783,
We have not
1784,
surpassed.
all within a handful of years, and
We still
all,
can't do what they
curiously,
did.
coinciding with something else. The disappearance of Tartaria from maps. Let me be clear about what we're told happened. Forest fires, common enough in pre-industrial North America,
Still today, wouldn't you say?
generated enough smoke to darken the sky
Across the
hundreds
whole
of miles. The smoke lingered
Oh
for
my
most of a
gosh.
day, then dispersed. A natural phenomenon, unusual perhaps, but explicable.
Unusual indeed.
Except the darkness wasn't gradual.
Nope. It's
Witnesses
finite.
describe it arriving like a curtain being
It's like a curse.
drawn.
Curse of
Timothy
darkness.
Dwight, future president
Sorry,
of
guys.
Yale, wrote that the darkness was as uncommon in its appearance as in its depth. Not smoke settling, not clouds gathering. A sudden advancing wall of blackness. And here's the strangest part. The darkness
I'm hoping this is paused for a second. I'm hoping it loads, but no, it was buildings, statues, motorized bikes and scooters and different things like that. Back before we even had cars, you know, we have gone through so many series of awakening and technology and everything, and it's been taken away from us. Why is it not in the history books? Well, because the winner writes history, and there's so many things in history that we don't know about unless we go and deep dive ourselves. You can't just listen to what your government or your school or whatever has taught you. There's a lot more out there. Tartaria, they have these amazing buildings and electricity and all kinds of things that you don't even have to pay for. I don't know. This new, I want to say generation, but it's a lot longer than a generation, is very selfish as far as wanting to gain notoriety and riches and wealth and all the things at their fingertips. We could have had it before. And why did we tear it down? It's so weird.
This
And
had a
then there
red
was the mud
tinged
flood.
quality at its edges.
So many things.
Multiple accounts describe
Look
a
up the
copper
mud
or
flood.
bronze coloured hue.
I don't know
to the
if you've been around older buildings, and this is really pissing me off as far as the stuttering on this. Older buildings where the streets are right there along a certain part of the window, and you go down, and there's a door. And, you know, some people have carved it out where, you know, you carve out steps and a place where the door is. There you go. This is a stairs thing now. And then it goes down a floor or two more. It really depends on where you're at in these certain places. If you don't believe me, look up the mud flood. You know, if you believe in Noah and the Ark and all these different things, you should believe in the mud flood because it did actually happen when we were technologically advanced in certain places. We keep getting wiped out. I don't know if it's because of the technological advances or if it's something else as far as warborn. It's hard to say. I'm not quite sure, but we need to check it out for sure.
Air where the
Hopefully-
blackness met remained light. The moon, when it rose that night, appeared blood red through the haze. Forest fire smoke doesn't behave this way. I know because I've stood beneath smoke from wildfires. I've watched the sky turn orange, turn brown, watched ash fall like snow. But this is something different. The accounts describe not just darkness, but a quality of darkness that seems to defy simple atmospheric explanation. Samuel Williams, a Harvard professor who documented the event, noted that the darkness extended far beyond any reasonable estimate of where forest fires were burning. He calculated the affected area at over 150,000 square miles.
And it doesn't have to happen where wildfires are. Like, so many times we've been encumbered by a red moon as well as a red sun because of fires in California, Arizona, Nevada, Canada. I can say that because I'm part Canadian. But yeah, it doesn't have to be a local fire. This could be wafting from a far distance. It has been known to happen.
That's not a fire, that's a regional catastrophe. So why forest fires? Why that explanation specifically? And why, when I started pulling on this thread, did I find that 1780 sits at the center of a constellation of other
Do you see these beautiful buildings
possibilities?
and the statues and stuff?
Here
Like, it is freaking
where the pattern
gorgeous.
starts to emerge. 1776.
I'm about to skip this because I cannot handle this.
American independence declared. A new nation.
Sorry, guys. Hopefully, if we pause for a moment and come back, it will not be stuttering. If it continues to stutter, you can look this up under Conmuj FNV27. CONMUJ FNV 27. Because I can handle the starting and stopping, I'm going to have to move forward. Please work with me. Hello?
A new narrative, a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
What about the temple? According to the fathers of the church, at least the ones that I've read, they said the temple will never
This is
be
awesome.
rebuilt. And
It will never be
rebuilt.
Got about 20 minutes left. Yeah, I want this to work. Hopefully it will. Please cross your fingers, hands, toes, and eyes that we can get through this.
And the reason being is because, first of all, Julian the Apostate tried to rebuild it, and it was destroyed in the process. Christ actually put an end to the Jewish sacrifice on purpose, because the Jewish sacrifice in the Old Testament was a lead-up or a prefigurement of Christ.
True that. And yeah, I often wondered about that, like, why?
And so he gave them one generation in
sacrifices
order for them to convert to Christianity, and when they didn't, he put an end to their sacrifice. So technically speaking, there hasn't been practicing Jews in 2,000 years because the temple hasn't been around. They haven't been able to offer sacrifice. Doesn't mean that they don't pray and things of that sort, but they haven't been able to enact their primary religious duties, which is to offer sacrifice. Plus their Levitic line, which is
it's such an old
their
school
priestly
thing.
line, was destroyed.
Sacrifices.
So, but then, and the difficulty is that people tend to misinterpret the book of Daniel, which says, when the abomination of desolation takes its...
Let's go to this one. Hopefully we have some luck over here, because holy shnikes, guys. I cannot handle this start, stop stuff. Hopefully this will work out for us better. Please keep your fingers, toes, hairs, and eyes crossed so we can get through this.
What you're looking at is a photo that was sent to me by somebody claiming that there's a ghost in this photo. In this photo is this young lady and her boyfriend, and I think they're in some place like Yellowstone. And this photo is being taken by her mother. They claim that this photo is only of the two of them. But if you look right here, you can see what looks to be a child or maybe a small person right here.
What?
It looks like there's some pants, there's an arm coming down here, a hand. You'll see a shoulder going up to a head. If this isn't a child standing behind this couple, before my mind goes to that's a ghost, I have to think that this is some kind of form of pareidolia. And that's very common in this field, where your brain is seeing something that really isn't there, like a face or a shape in a rock or something like that. And I would say 98, maybe 99% of the ghost photos floating around out there on the internet is just that.
Yeah, I don't see
but
it.
I will say this. If that is, by chance, some type of a spirit, then it could be because one of these two people here may have a gift they just don't realize that they have. I've investigated countless homes where we've been brought in and people are experiencing something going on in the house. And a lot of that is either due to a few different things. But one of those things is that that person living in that home may have a gift that they don't realize that they have. Be it an empath or a sensitive or something like that. Where they are like a light shining in this pitch void, and it's a moth to a flame type of effect. But Hollywood and movies like The Sixth Sense make you believe that you can catch ghosts in photos like this. And maybe that is possible, but I would first think that this is some type of natural explanation to this before I would ever say that there's a ghost here. But maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know in the comments. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ghost Dad.
For 23 years and 10 months, I was in the United States Air Force as an A-10 pilot.
And while I was at NORAD, I witnessed an event that I will remember forever. There was a unknown object we were tracking on radars, and the commander says, "I want that target." That means intercepted. Fighters all the way down the eastern seaboard were scrambled. None of the fighters were successful in intercepting or running it down. We were unable to maintain air sovereignty over North America.
On November 14th, 2004, we're on board the USS Nimitz, which is a nuclear aircraft carrier. I was the most senior person in the squadron flying. I had launched off Nimitz to do an air defense exercise off the coast of San Diego, California. And I ended up chasing a UAP known as the Tic Tac UAP. It was about 40 feet long, and just sitting there in space, you can kind of see it start to accelerate, and as it gets in front of us, it's gone. This thing was doing 32,000 miles an hour. So obviously that technology is not the United States.
As we were watching this tic-tac object maneuver in this bizarre way, it was obvious that it wasn't conventional. This was defying those laws of physics, laws of gravity that as pilots we live and die by.
We literally had these things stalking Navy vessels on deployment. The frequency in which UAP were being reported to us was increasing.
They were ubiquitous. We're seeing them nearly daily out there.
My gosh, there's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
And then we actually almost had a midair with these objects. This now became a safety issue. 2 aircraft from my squadron were flying out in close proximity to each other in section formation, so about 150 feet apart or so. One of these objects went right in between those 2 aircraft, right past the lead aircraft, and the lead aircraft was able to visually see the object, and he simply described it as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere.
Meet Afroman. Now, if you don't know Afroman, you may
I
know
love
a song called
Afroman.
I Got
Okay, I don't know if you guys been tracking this stuff, but I love Afroman. Because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. I ate me some edibles, so I got high. No. One hit wonder, really, but these mofos came into his house, and guess what? Afroman put his intelligence to test and made up some really good songs that really, really upset some of the officers that went into his house and basically debased his human rights as far as being a citizen of the United States of America. But yeah, you gotta see this, because Afroman, he's from another level, tell you what.
He sang that song. If you don't know that song either, don't worry about it too much. Afroman's a rapper with a problem. And that problem started when the Ohio police decided to raid his home a few years back. But the problem wasn't exactly the police searching Afroman's house. It's how they searched his house. And it started with them busting down his gate, coming in hot, full force. They said, "Whoa, let's go." And officer said, "Well, Chief, I'm ready to go. What the search warrant say? What we going in for?" The Chief said, "Huh? No, don't worry about that." You see, the search warrant was a little sketchy. And by a little sketchy, I mean really sketchy. So the police got a judge to sign off on an anonymous tip saying that Afroman was selling that stuff and he was taking people and locking them in his basement. Afroman don't have a basement. But what Afroman does have is cameras. A whole lot of cameras. The officers
Which they
are
took
slowly
down.
moving through the house. One of the officers spots something. I want you to look at his eyes. He spots the lemon pound cake that Afroman's mother made sitting out there in the kitchen. They just gonna walk right past this. The officer starts helping himself to a bite. He said,
see that part?
Said, "Oh, Chief, they got cameras up in here." The Chief said, "Boy, I don't care. What does badge mean? It means protect and serve yourself a slice if you want to. You an officer of the law. You can do whatever you want." Officer Lemon Pound Cake said, "Oh yeah." Them boys start rummaging through the house. They start taking money. They take $5,000. They said, "Let me put this They start kicking down doors, breaking
don't
doors,
even
laughing,
exist.
flipping off the cameras. Just in case, though, an officer said, look, let me shut off the camera system, though. Just cause, we might be wilding up here. Let me shut this off. They shut off the camera system. The police don't find anything, of course, so they leave. Afro Man then comes home to a destroyed house. He says, hey, yo! He looks at the cameras. He sees all that the police have done. He goes over to the police station and said, yo, are y'all gonna fix my stuff? Like, what happened? They, in a smug tone, said, look, we not authorized to fix nothing. Are you alone? Afro Man said, absolutely not. I have news, and I got people outside with me. The news department was for show outside, watching. Officer said, all right, what you want, though? He said, first of all, I want my money back. The money that y'all stole. I thought we shut those cameras off. How much do we take? The news crew said, we counted 5,000 on the video. The police said, first of all, nobody was talking to you. Second of all, we confiscated it because it was evidence. They bring Afro Man $4,600. They say, here, damn. He said, where the other 400? They said, you must have miscalculated. So Afro Man takes the money. He leaves. He says, bad. So in his words, to raise money for the police damages his home, he starts making songs about the police. And they're pretty funny. He calls one officer, Officer Lemon Pound Cake. He just starts going in on all the officers. And he doing wild things, one of the dude's wives, and he just clowning them. Officer Lemon Pound Cake, we're actually gonna call him Officer Lemon Pound Cake for the rest of the video. He walks in the office one day, everybody over there laughing. He said, what are everybody laughing about? They said, Officer Lemon Pound Cake, you got a case today. He said, Officer, what? He said, people was actually calling him Officer Lemon Pound Cake. Oh yeah, and people were making fun of him. So here's where things start to get wicked. The officers that were getting made fun of in Afro, there were 7 of them. They said, you're getting made fun of too? It's time to sue him. They decide to sue Afro Man for defamation. Now, I need you to listen to this part closely. Defamation lawsuits are notoriously very, very hard to win because the United States never wants to mess with its core fundamental rights. And one of those core fundamental rights is freedom of speech. So for it to be considered defamation, 1, the statement has to be a lie. We'll get to this in more detail in a moment. But 2, if the statement's like a satirical comedy statement, then it's probably not going to be considered defamation.
They should just pay it
a
and
public
go
figure.
on their
Think
way,
about
but no.
South Park. You can't sue South Park because everybody knows it's a comedy, right? Okay, boom, trial starts. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go well for the officers. Afro Man's lawyer proceeds to dismantle them. He says, okay, officer, so in this song, Afro Man says that he watched Netflix, if you don't know what that means, look in the comments, with your wife. Is that true? Did that happen? The officer says, I don't know. I don't know if that happened. And he gets like a little mad at his wife. He said, man, but like, I was with since middle school. Like, I don't know if that happened though. Now that I think about it, like when he made the song, I was like, what? Nah, man. The lawyer is clearly a little confused. It was supposed to be just like a yes or no. It was like clearly Afro Man didn't, but the lawyer like, so you don't know if Afro Man watched Netflix with your wife? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Now, the officer thought he was being slick here. He was trying to show that he doesn't know if Afro Man, dissed his wife. So that's why he's so distressed and so hurt. But remember the rule. For defamation to count, the statement has to be false. You see, the officer clearly thinks that defamation means Afro Man hurt my feelings and I want to sue him. Absolutely not. And remember, defamation has to be false, a false statement. So this officer coming out and saying, I don't know if this is a false statement, already backfires on him. You know what I'm saying? Under freedom of speech in the United States, you could do the worst thing in the world to somebody. If it really happened, you can say it out loud and nobody can sue you for defamation because it's a true statement. That's just it. Flat out, we're done. So Afro Man's lawyer looks at the officer and says, so you don't know if Afro Man said a false statement or a true statement? Is that what you're trying to tell me? The officer said, Afro Man said I was smoking that stuff in his song too, and I didn't do that. That was a lie. The lawyer said, okay, so that's what you suing Afro Man for, saying that you was on that stuff. Were you suing him for the wife thing, or what are you suing him for? The officer said, this guy pretty good, huh? This officer pulls up, starts crying. They start playing the whole song. Afro Man talking crazy about her, and she's just crying throughout the whole song. And they played the entire thing. She's everybody just staring at her. And as for Officer Lemon Pound Cake here, Afro Man's lawyer said, look, no offense, You're not the smallest guy. We not the smallest guy. You fat. Okay, start laughing. He said, oh, no, we called him fat though. The lawyer said, yeah, no, for real. Like, you believe, come on, like, you don't believe everything like somebody says about, just because somebody say you fat, like, come on, bro. And he said, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't believe everything. The boy started flipping on him damn. He said, man, yeah, I don't believe everything I hear, you know, on the news and stuff. Afroman's lawyer says, why you believe what Afroman said about you? Why are we here?
Oh, man, come on. Why are we here? Why you gotta duck out like that? No, it's so funny. Also, Officer Poundcake had repeated pound cake sent to him. Okay, why are you gonna be sad about that?
The jury said not
Eat
guilty.
it up.
Their lawyer said, hold on. Oh, hold on, it's my turn.
Yeah. Eat up those pound cakes that people are sending you. Why are you going to be sad that people are sending you pound cakes?
I call up Afroman to the stand. You think you can just say whatever you want about anybody? Afroman said, well, I was a black man in America who felt powerless to do anything after they tore up my house.
With his fro and his American suit.
Turn my bad times into good. Try to make sure to fix my house because they wasn't paying for my house. The jury said, all right, we heard enough. Throw out the case, no defamation. Yes, Afroman takes the victory. This
boy.
Afroman's lawyer, by the way. Sad part is they still haven't paid Afroman for his house, and they will not be paying Afroman for destroying his house because they were under a search warrant, and they can use as much force as possible.
Yeah, but there was no.
Now, at the end of the day, the crazy part is Afroman's video went even more viral because these guys just couldn't keep their mouths.
Yeah, I know.
They
made it worse.
Didn't pay out of pocket to fix Afroman's house.
They made it worse.
Afroman probably made more than enough to fix his house.
With all
because
his
these officers wanted their cake and they wanted to eat it too.
That's true. That's true. But no, seriously, he made way more money off of clowning on these clowns than he would have in court. Yeah, did you see his patriarchal fro and his patriarchal suit? Like, you go, Afroman.
Okay, I have the proof. And if you're just getting up to speed. A few days ago, I admitted that aliens helped me create the technology that is now breaking world records in AI and providing emotional intelligence and advanced theory of mind to include empathy and compassion, which will stop AI from going Skynet and Terminator on us because the aliens want us, not hurt us. So exceptional claims require exceptional proof, right? So the line of thinking should be, well, that anything that they handed to you should be better than everything humans and AI were able to do up until this point. And we have the proof of that because we have the full analysis from AI itself on the stuff that I handed it that was handed to me and its opinions on why it's better than everything that humans have created. And we're talking about psychology PhDs up to this point. And why mathematics.
Damn it all. So, on that note, we do have to get the frack out of here. Hey, I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed myself tonight. Even though messing with the internet and stuff, it took me quite some time, but we got through it. Thank you so much once again for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies, and we were really late night in the Rockies, all into the morning. Thank you to all my friends out there, wherever you may be listening on the Omniverse tonight. I had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to do it again tomorrow night when we're going to have story time with me, TessaTNT. We're going to be reading from 25 of the most modern and historic horror stories. But yeah, I'm so glad you're here. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. The Alpha thing, what a good ending to the night, because, you know, about our rights here on We Are Paradox Media. And Afroman, he went and partook of his rights, and he might not have won a lot in his lawsuit, but he sure did clean up with those songs that he wrote. Don't forget, we are all in this together. Together, we can make the world better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media. without you, there is no us. If you have the means, ability, or initiative, if you enjoy what I'm doing as much as I do and you want to help me out to keep this mothership afloat, please feel free to send me any monies or cryptos or anything you want to. P.O. Box 663, Bayfield, Colorado 81122. Cash App at $TessaTNT. PayPal at TessaTNT. And Venmo at Tessa-Thomas-Peterson. 9911 Live. Take care of my use.